Hi, this is Morley, and this is the M-Wire. Happy Saturday, everyone. Well, I thought I'd bring you this article on Prince Harry because I just couldn't keep this to myself. Prince Harry appeared on an episode of Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert, and he said, "I've got so much I want to say about the First Amendment. I don't understand it, but it is bonkers." So he said in the first sentence that he doesn't understand it, but he's drawn a conclusion about it that it's bonkers. What is so bonkers about it? Let's do a refresher on the First Amendment and try to disseminate why it is so very bonkers. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and the petition of the government for a redress of grievances. Well, that doesn't sound too overly bonkers to me. It just means that you're free to worship whatever God you choose. The government won't tell you which one. And you have freedom of speech. You can not only think whatever you like, but you're allowed to vocalize it, much in the way that I'm doing now. Conversely, if somebody else says something, you're actually allowed to disagree with it. You can peaceably assemble, as opposed to a BLM protest, and petition the government for redress of grievances. So if the government is doing something that you don't like, you are actually allowed to say to the government that you don't agree, and that's all fine and well. But somehow Prince Harry has a hard time understanding that. I don't know about you folks, but I like to gather information from sources that I trust and disseminate my own truth about that certain something. We don't need to have independent fact checkers to think for us, but that is a staple of the left. It's a hive mind mentality. They discourage independent thought. They look at you like you're some kind of a rogue if you have an idea that is different or radical from the collective. That is a very strong differentiating factor between the right and the left. As well as we go over facts over feelings. The left seems to think if you feel something, that validates it. Well, we feel lots of things that aren't valid. We work with what we know as opposed to what we feel. But it gets way better, folks. Further in the interview, he said, "In today's world with misinformation just endemic, people have got to be careful about what comes out of your mouth. Celebrities like Joe Rogan, who Harry mentioned by name, should stay out of it and not say anything at all if they don't have anything useful to say." Well, the obvious thing that I have to say, exercising my First Amendment right, is you should take your own advice, Prince Harry. You don't have anything useful to say. I mean, all of a sudden you want to give up royalty and go woke. I mean, what does that say about you? Now, this is the part where it gets just poetic, folks. Are you ready for this? Some of you may have forgotten about this. Some of you simply may not be old enough to remember this. But this picture here is exactly as it appears. This is not Photoshop. This is an actual picture of Prince Harry at a Halloween party in 2004, I believe. And at this time, he is 21 years old. So you can imagine the outrage from a member of the royal family wearing something like this to a Halloween party. You would figure that a 21-year-old would know better. This is the result. You would think that being a member of the royal family would entitle you to a certain degree of education about history, but apparently not. At 21 years old, Harry had no idea what this even meant or represented, that he thought he'd wear it to a Halloween party. This would be appalling enough if just regular Joe Blow off the street wore this to a Halloween party, but a member of the royal family? Wow! As expected, the backlash on Twitter was swift and severe. Hey, go home. We fought a war to get rid of royals on our soil. No need to understand anything we do. Bye! How poignant. If he has a problem with the Constitution, then he can go back to Britain. Yeah, that about says it all right there. You can always leave if you don't like our Constitution and find a country where you don't have to deal with those bonker rights. Well said, blue checkmark. Well said. In conclusion, we can now fairly say that Prince Harry is so woke that he is only destined, as a result, to go broke. Thank you so much for coming along with me to my video. Please, please, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you and God bless.